I'm making my last Necron Diorama, so join the Necron leader Szeraz on his onslaught as he seeks to unravel the last mysteries of life and the nature of the soul. But how can I show that? With some plastic and foam, of course. So let's get started on my last Necron Diorama. Today we're building the Illuminor Szeraz, a Necron Cryptek Technomancer, which I must say is a hell of a mouthful of words. He's one of the most powerful and intelligent Necrons in all of existence, and also one of the most reviled. Szeraz, he's a bit of a cheeky boy and is obsessed with the secrets of life itself, and seeks to achieve godhood. But we'll talk about that more later on. Now let's get this diorama finally started. And with any good evening, let's start with some glue and foam. Now I was having the metaphorical time of my life cutting this foam with my lovely wire cutter until... yeah, I broke it, but rest assured, there's more on the way. Next it was time to score the foam and just about missed my fingers. This is to help that juicy clay stick to the foam. Now all you need to do is give it a nice sensual massage, and using some water we can smooth out all the clay to create what is the surface of our diorama. Now one of the ideas I had was to have a ritual stone floor like in the old Hellboy movie or the new Diablo. But as I looked at what I was doing, I stared aghast at what I had created. So scrapping all of that, the general theme of the diorama, I wanted some old ruins, a bit more like an old medieval Gothic castle. So to get all of these brain ideas down, I made a little mound with some more foam and glue and put some rocks down. Wait a minute, let's flip that guy round. Now with all these 3D printed ruins, I could finally get something interesting on the diorama. I squished it onto the foam with some clay and then made a little mound so it looked like it belonged in the scenery. So all that was left to do is to glue all of our little ruins down. And a quick intermission break. If you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit it with a nice little cheeky like, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider subscribing. Now using my favourite dirt texture, we can turn this heap of clay into, well, a better looking heap of clay. But I honestly can't praise this stuff enough. It really is amazing. One of the things you do have to watch out for though is that for some reason it really likes to stick to your skin, so that's why it's gloves all the way. And there's his unfortunate victim. He thought he could steal his precious secrets. Oh, and there's his honor guard crushed under some fallen rubble. With all the terrain bits glued down, it's time to soak everything in watered down PVA, so we can get ready to sprinkle some real dried dirt on top for this beautiful dirt effect. And to dry out your dirt, my favourite way is sunny side up. Once the dirt's down, I then soaked everything in isopropyl alcohol to make sure the next coating of glue soaks into everything, as this gets rid of any of the surface tension. And now that it's dried and primed, it's time to get painting. With a quick base coat of brown, it starts to bring this diorama back to life. I also added some yellow marks on the rocks for some more detail. Next, I painted all of the ruins in a bluish grey, as I think in this magical space planet, a lot of the buildings here are going to be this nice blue. And after grabbing my favourite red ink, it's time to paint the fallen blood angels from my last diorama, link at the end. For the characters, I decided to paint them in simple colours, different reds, blacks, golds, and generally the more royal colours. And with all that, it's enamel time! Also known as using enamel paints. And for the characters, I'm using a dark brown enamel wash, as it really gives it that dark and grungy feel to all the models. And after about 10 minutes, I return with some cotton buds soaked in Winsor & Newton solvent, as this will allow us to remove all of the surface wash and keep all of the brown in the recesses and stain a little bit of the surface. And then I proceeded to do the same 2 steps, but with black wash on all of the ruins. The reason why I chose black is because this is less dirty and it's just to look more detailed. Now finally onto the man himself. I painted him in the same colour scheme as my previous Necron project to stay in theme of this quick battle. So a really quick and easy synopsis, I'm going to base coat him in a nice silver paint with a secondary colour of a bronze highlighted up to a gold, and a nice lovely black enamel wash to bring out the detail. Next, it's time to paint all of the blood effects on this model. For this, I used Blood for the Blood Gods, which has to be the best name I've ever heard for a paint. And this finally led to us adding some colour onto the diorama. I added grey highlights onto all of the rocks to make them look a bit more like rocks, and started to pour some green contrast paint everywhere, and then thinned it down while it was on the diorama for a quick and easy blend. And with all of that out the way, it's time for the return of one of my favourite paints. Moss by Dirty Down. I wanted it to look like there was a green corruption all over these lands. And basically wherever you walk there are these horrible green spores coming out the ground. For this I literally just painted it everywhere and watered down the edges, because when you water down these paints it makes that bright green colour, literally bringing out that vibrancy. And while we're painting all things green, it's time for the Necron crystals, which I thinned down some striking scorpion paint all over the glowy parts of the Necron. And all there is to do now is some highlighting and blood. And that leads us to the end of the diorama. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, I've been Reese, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh yeah, I forgot to repaint the base, so ignore all those splotchy black bits.